I want to thank Sinn Féin for bringing forward this bill, and we're very happy to support it. Israel is not only guilty of ethnic cleansing, apartheid, settler colonialism on the historic land of Palestine, it is now guilty of that in Dublin Airport. And I received an email on the 8th of May from a young Palestinian woman who is studying here in UCD and who was taking a flight, newly established flights, something I wasn't aware of El Al flights, Israeli airline flights from Dublin to Tel Aviv. People should understand, because this is relevant to understanding the nature of the Zionist state, that if you're from Jerusalem and you're Palestinian, you get issued with a document, an Israeli travel document, which of course it refuses to acknowledge your Palestinian identity. You're identified as Jordanian. That's important because the fundamental fact about the Zionist state is it doesn't acknowledge the existence of Palestinians. But this is what happened to a young woman when she boarded the flight. I'll just read some of it. First, at the El Al check-in encounter in Dublin Airport, I was denied by the airline's Israeli security from carrying any kind of luggage to the plane, including my personal bag, which included my laptop and my work phone. I was the only one discriminated against in the check-in queue, investigated with and asked to go to the departure gate 20 minutes earlier than everyone else for a special security check. At the departure gate, I was the only one picked from tens of passengers queuing, taken to a separate room where I was searched and harassed by the mentioned airline's Israeli security. After the Israeli security have conducted a full-body security check on me, this is a young woman, they commanded me to physically remove my clothes, threatened me, despite saying no, that if I didn't take off my trousers, they will deny me boarding on the flight. I had a breakdown in the airport, and that did not stop them from harassing me. I was dazzled that this happened on Irish grounds, and she goes on. Now that is a disgrace, but it is absolutely emblematic of what the Israeli state is all about. And on the day after the 75th anniversary of Nakba, we need to understand that the 750,000 illegal settlements on land under international law designated to be Palestinian land, the ongoing campaign to ethnically cleanse people like this young woman and her family from Jerusalem, from East Jerusalem, the criminal siege of Gaza, which is a war crime and a crime against humanity, as are those illegal settlements, as are ethnic cleansing, as are apartheid policies practiced in Israel, in the occupied territories, in Gaza, and now in Dublin, are absolutely unacceptable. Now the question is, what are we going to do about it? Because this goes on and on and on. And it has gone on since the foundation of the state of Israel. It's not some aberration. And that's something that was made absolutely clear by David Ben-Gurion and Weizmann. Even when they agreed to the partition plan, a disaster plan as far as I'm concerned, which led directly to the Nakba, they made clear in well-recorded personal conversations they had no intention of sticking to the partition plan and that they were out to seize all of the land. And as the great Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish said when asked about the Nakba, he described it as an extended present that promises to continue into the future. In other words, the Nakba is ongoing. The plan to ethnically cleanse all of Palestine, of Palestinians, to deny their existence, to treat them as subhuman, to steal their land, to drive them out of existence. That is the nature of the Israeli regime and of the Zionist project. And I really just wonder when we are going to wake up to that fact. Millions of Palestinians in Jordan, in Lebanon, in Syria, rotting in refugee camps for generations, even though they have a right under international law to return to the lands from which they are expelled. Does anybody seriously believe Israel is even remotely interested in vindicating that right, which is a right under international law? Does anybody seriously at this stage believe that the signing of the Oslo Peace Accords by Israel was anything other than a smokescreen to continue the project of ethnic cleansing. They were never serious about a two-state solution. So to my mind, we not only need to pass this bill, but we need to support full boycott, divestment and sanctions of the entire apartheid regime, the entire state of Israel, because it is a state that is built on ethnic cleansing and the denying of the most basic rights of Palestinians. To be treated as human beings, to have the right to self-determination, to have the right to return, to have the right not to be stolen, their land not to be stolen off them, to have the right not to be collectively punished with a decade-long siege of Gaza. I mean, it's just shocking, and yet the government says we have to delay this. We have to delay it. When are the sanctions going to come? As we eventually were forced to do against apartheid South Africa, or are we going to twiddle our thumbs and allow this to happen, even the affront of doing this in our airport? How could this happen? How could this happen? It's absolutely shocking. So I'd ask the Minister, first of all, to withdraw their amendment and let this bill pass. Personally, I would go further, but I'm happy to support this bill. But the apartheid, the ethnic cleansing, the settler colonialism has to be reckoned for what it is. It is an absolute affront to any idea of equality, human rights, human decency, and the world has to stand up against this horror and finally take action to vindicate the rights of Palestinians.